What's up, YouTube? This your boy B Boy Snatch Down TV, and tonight I'll go my AEW Dynamite review on high. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content. Follow my social media down below in the description. Now let's get started. Now AEW Dynamite was a very pretty good show, and I give it an 8.9 out of 10. Now this was a very good promo right here by Adam Copeland. All right, Adam Copeland makes his way out to a huge pop from the crowd to start things off. Head heading to the ring with a microphone in his hands. Adam Copeland acknowledged the crowd before dealing with feedback from the mic. He didn't come out here as TNT champion, but simply as Adam Copeland to talk to the fans, asking them if they having fun. He talks about all the great things about wrestling despite negative feedback, and the fact he came back to wrestling because he loves it so much. As he started to think about the end of his career, he realized that AEW is the place to bring it to a close. He looked at the roster and saw a murderer's row of talent, like Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, Hangman Adam Page, Malachi Black, and so on, pointing out how many of these are first time matches that can happen in AEW. He has a lot of friends in the industry, and some of them have been calling him up, saying he looks like he's having a blast in AEW, and he is. He had a lot of fun in AEW, and AEW should be celebrated. AEW has pushed this industry into a better place because AEW makes wrestling better. This is where the best wrestler, Adam Copeland calls himself down after delivering this speech, saying that it's time to move forward. There's a reason Okada came here, why Mercedes and Will Ospreay came here, why Adam Copeland came here. He introduced a man that would help bring AEW forward, Will Ospreay. This was a this segment right here was really good by Adam Copeland. Very good segment. Okay, really enjoyed that opening promo from Adam Copeland. Clearly spur on from comments made over the past few days, but definitely passionate. Hashtag AEW Dynamite. Okay, Will Ospreay makes his way to the ring to a big ovation from the Rochester crowd for our opening match, followed by Powerhouse Hobbs before this battle of Wills gets underway. So we get Will Ospreay versus Powerhouse Hobbs. This was a good match. The power of Hobbs is quickly adverted by the agility of Will Ospreay, who catches the Powerhouse with a moonsault for a near fall. Powerhouse Hobbs gets to his feet, taking Will Ospreay down for a cocky cover, but Will Ospreay kicks out quickly. Powerhouse Hobbs continues to overpower Will Ospreay, but not for long. He sends Powerhouse Hobbs out of the ring before hitting a big dive that impressed even Don Callis at ringside. The fight continues on the outside as Powerhouse Hobbs goes after Will Ospreay, pulling him back in from the crowd for a delayed vertical suplex onto the steel steps. Powerhouse House continues the assault on Will Ospreay, reminding Don Callis that he signs him up before slamming the aerial assassin onto the announcer table as we go to picture in picture. We're back from picture in picture. Powerhouse House stays in control throughout the break, seemingly manhandling Will Ospreay before bringing him back into the ring for further damage before the assassin can get to his feet, only for Powerhouse House to drop him down once more, going after his head as we return from break. Powerhouse Hobbs goes right back after Will Ospreay, but is sent to the canvas for his troubles. Will Ospreay lays in the kick and a chop, but a ladder barely phased the Powerhouse Hobbs, who sends Will Ospreay into the corner. Powerhouse Hobbs tells him to do it again, as Will Ospreay goes for a couple forearm strikes, only to be sent flying with a over-the-head throw by Powerhouse Hobbs. Swinging DT gets blocked by the Powerhouse Hobbs as he sends Will Ospreay down hard, eventually getting a near fall off a scoop slam. Powerhouse Hobbs heads to the turnbuckle, climbing up top for a fall splash, but Will Ospreay rolls out of the way. Oscutter block. Will Ospreay fights out of the powerhouse, grabs and hits an Oscutter on the second attempt, but Powerhouse House kicks out of the pin attempt that follows. Will Ospreay goes for the corner for a hidden blade, only to get caught by Powerhouse House, who gets cradled for a near fall by Will Ospreay, who in turn gets laid out with a lariat by the Powerhouse House. Will Ospreay sent to the corner as Powerhouse House climbs up for a avalanche power slam in the cover, but Will Ospreay kicks out. Powerhouse House brings Will Ospreay to his feet and sends him to the ropes, but Will Ospreay counters before climbing up top for a sky twister press. Will Ospreay goes to the corner, connecting with the hidden blade for the pin and the win. The winner of the match, Will Ospreay. This was a very good match. Good opening contest between Will Ospreay and Powerhouse. The style both displayed made for a fun match, especially with Powerhouse growing frustrations over Will Ospreay apparent importance to Don Callis. Powerhouse Hobbs starts arguing with Will Ospreay until Don Callis manages to, to calm him down, and Will Ospreay heads up the ramp to celebrate until Brian Danielson comes out, starting his Dynasty opponent down before heading to the ring as we go to commercial break. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Lance Archer makes his way to the ring next and immediately goes after the American Dragon to get this match on the way. So we get Brian Danielson versus Lance Archer. This was a good match too. I enjoyed this match. Lance Archer Lance Archer makes good use of his power early on, leveling Brian Danielson before sending him to the corner for more punishment. He continues the attack with a set of crossface punches on Brian Danielson before the action moves back to the corner where Lance Archer drives his boot into Brian Danielson's face and then sends him flying into the opposite corner. Lance Archer with another hard whip to wear Brian Danielson down before rushing into the American Dragon over and over. He goes for more goes for one more. But Brian Danielson gets out of the way, hitting a dragon screw that drops the Murder Hawk monster to the canvas. Brian Danielson takes Lance Archer two tags here, going after the legs to keep the bigger man down before following up with some roundhouse kicks. Lance Archer starts to fight back, but is taken down by a knee by a Brian Danielson lock. Brian Danielson kick, allowing the American Dragon to wear him down further. Lance Archer sends him out of the ring, but Brian Danielson invades him to go for a dive, only for Lance Archer to catch him by the goose for a chokeslam onto the apron. With the American Dragon Brian Danielson onto the floor, Lance Archer grabs a straight hand and body slams him into Brian Danielson before we go to picture in picture. We're back from picture in picture. Lance Archer continues to wear Brian Danielson down around ringside, bringing him back to the ring for more damage as we come back from break. Brian Danielson starts fighting back, but the Murder Hawk Monster takes him right back down before pulling him by the nose until into the corner floor, even more punishment, driving his boot into the American Dragon. Lance Archer brings Brian Danielson back to his feet before going up top with a rope walk, but before he can do anything else, he can hung up on the rope, but Brian Danielson landing right on his little Archies. Lance Archer frees himself and leans in the corner where Brian Danielson goes for the attack, eventually dropping him to the canvas and entrenched in the LeBell lock. Lance Archer is struggling to get to the ropes, but finally does, forcing a break. Lance Archer escapes to the outside, but is caught with a dive by Brian Danielson, followed by a knee off the apron. Lance Archer back in the ring as Brian Danielson goes up top, dropping the big man with a missile dropkick before laying in some hard kicks until Lance Archer catches himself with a chokeslam for the cover, but Brian Danielson kicks out. Brian Danielson in the corner as Lance Archer looks to inflict more pain, but Brian Danielson fights out and escapes a blackout to the lock in a weird choke. Lance Archer is still on to his feet, but fading before dropping Brian Danielson to the cameras. Brian Danielson takes the ropes, hitting a bazooka knee to drop the man. Lance Archer blocks a second one, but is caught with a three big kicks before another bazooka gets Brian Danielson to pin in the win. The winner of the match, Brian Danielson. This was a great match. Okay, yeah, I say great match, but good match. But anyway, another display of ring action, this time clashing the technical powers of Brian Danielson with the sheer power of Lance Archer. Great and a good win for Brian Danielson here. Hashtag AEW Dynamite. So we go to commercial break. Back from ringside, Renee Paquette welcomes Lionheart Chris Jericho, who looks to call out Hook. Chris Jericho said last week he had a proposition to Hook's mentor, but something the FTW champion said last week stuck with him. So he asked Hook to come out now. Hit hit the Hook signals. Hook makes his way to the stage. Chris Jericho brings up what Hook said last week about knowing who Jericho is in reference to his past alliance not panning out before saying the rules are different for someone working at the level of Chris Jericho. He's not asking Hook to trust him 100%, but to believe in him as much as Jericho believes in Hook. Hook says he believes in Jericho so much that he got two of them a match for Collision here in Rochester, but he's keeping an eye on Jericho. Because Jericho says he expects nothing less. Bet a fist bump between the two steals and the to seal the deal. Okay, that was a pretty good segment between Jericho and Hook. Backstage, Shane Taylor and Lee Montelli addressed their match on Collision, confirming they will be taking on the duo known as Lion Hook before promoting, promising they will be beaten by STP. Okay, Jay White. I'm sorry. Back at ringside, Jay White makes his interest for our next match, only to be confronted by an angry Billy Gunn who blindsides the Switchblade. Jay White tries to escape down the ramp, but Billy Gunn sends him against the barricade, also refusing to let Jay White into the ring before slamming the switchblade into the barricade once more. Billy Gunn finally brings Jay White into the ring and this match gets underway. So we get Billy Gunn versus Jay White. This was a decent match. Billy Gunn wallops Jay White, sending the switchblade out of the ring, where he goes on the attack some more by slamming Jay White into the announcer table and then over the barricade into the crowd. Billy Gunn goes into the ring to break the 10 count, but gives chase to the Switchblade right after, and the action goes further up into the crowd before the referee tries to intervene. The battle continues in the crowd, where Billy Gunn slams Jay White into a hockey barricade before bringing the Switchblade back to ringside. Jay White seems to be begging for help or an escape, but Billy Gunn offers him to Solence as he continues the beatdown, only for Jay White to send him into the barricade after escaping a suplex attempt. This doesn't phase Billy Gunn much, however, as he goes right back onto the attack, sending Jay White into the steps before the Switchblade can barely escape disaster. Billy Gunn brings Jay White back into the ring, but the Switchblade tries to escape to the Narwhal as Billy Gunn goes back after him. Jay White grabs the ropes, forcing a break, but Billy Gunn only responds by sending him over the top rope with a clothesline as we go to picture in picture. Back from picture in picture, Big Gun talks it out with the referee as Jay White tries to recover on the outside, finally returning to find himself only on the other end of a beatdown from Billy Gunn once more. Billy Gunn attacked the Switchblade on the outside once again, slamming him against the barricade before bringing him back into the ring just to attack him on the apron. As we come back, Jay White managed to fight back, but now sending Billy Gunn into the corner for a series of stunts before taunting Bill Gunn, who fights back with a big tilt-a-whirl, dropping Switchblade to the canvas. The screen reveals the claim being laid out as Jay White fights back, sending Billy Gunn back into the ring for a Blade Runner, only for Billy Gunn to hit the one and only on Switchblade. Both men are slow to their feet as Billy Gunn hit a famouser on Jay White, causing out the Switchblade before hitting another. Billy Gunn isn't done, however, he goes outside to grab a chair, only for his sons to rush into the ring to beg him off. Billy Gunn isn't having any of it, shoving them away to go after Jay White, who hits him with a low blow. The referee sees this and calls for the bell. The winner by disqualification, Billy Gunn. This was a good match too. I mean, decent match, decent. Yeah, this was a decent match. I'm sorry. Bullet Club Gold looked to attack Billy Gunn after the match, but the acclaimed music hits as the pair rush down for the save. They cleared the ring of their former allies looking to finish things by sending Jay White through the announcer table, but the Guns saved their friends, escaping through the crowd. Between the match and what went down after, this was a lot of fun to see the four delusion between the Bang Bang Sister Gang. I'm sure this is gearing up for some sort of winner take all scenario with their respective titles, and I'm all for it. Hashtag AEW Dynamite. Earlier today, the Young Bucks arrived to the building, as do the best friends and Sue. Back at ringside, Renee welcomed Will Nightingale to the stage for a word or two. Follow her with that last week on Dynamite. Willow is decided to be the Rochester, recount, recounting how hard she worked in this town, referring to White Eagle to a big pop. She calls Rochester a home away from home, where she figured out who she is. She used to wonder if a girl like her belonged in wrestling, and the response from the crowd helps confirm that may very well be true. This applause helped her blossom into the woman we see today. The woman who will be calling for the TBS championship at AEW Dynasty. She believes that the fan support will help her become the smiling face of the women's division in AEW. Stokely halfway talks about Willow having a banger after a match last week, and how hard she been working week after week, but interrupted by the arrival of Mercedes Monet tells Rochester to say hello to their CEO, and that she looks forward to seeing Willow take on Julia Hart at Dynasty. Whoever is champion after Dynasty, Mercedes Monet gets next, because money changed everything. This was a really good segment right here. Really good segment here with Willow and Mercedes Monet. I'm worried the results of the TBS title match at Dynasty may have been telegraphed with the Mercedes Monet get next statement at the end. But we will just have to see what happens. Hashtag AEW Dynamite. This was a very good segment. Commercial break. Back at ringside, the Young Bucks makes their way to the ring out to our next match, a big semi-final match in the tag title tournament. Out next are our best friends, Trent Beretta and Orange Cassidy, look to topple the EVPs to advance as this match gets underway. AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament semifinals, the Young Bucks versus Best Friends. This is a very fun tag team match, but the outcome I did not expect, but I'll get to that just a second. We start with Trent and Nicholas before Orange Cassidy tags in for a double team for a near fall. Tag back to Trent, who drops Nicholas for a near fall of his own. Nicholas fights back, taking advantage of a fumble by Trent to tag in Matthew, who starts up in the locomotive motion and suplex across the ring. Until Trent fights back, Nicholas comes in but takes a standing meteor from Beretta, who gets hung up when he goes on the attack on the outside. The Young Bucks follow up by dropping Orange Cassidy onto the apron and do same to Trent Beretta for a good measure. Matthew takes a headset at commentary to run down Escobar before calling for the action to go to picture in picture. We come back from picture in picture. The Young Bucks maintain control throughout the break, keeping Trent isolated from making a tag to Orange Cassidy, but before Nicholas mocks the former international champion. The Young Bucks go back on the attack until Beretta fights back, only to take a double team from the EVP, but Trent starts to get back into it as we return. The Young Bucks get the turnbuckle pad off before looking to set Trent up, but Beretta escapes and makes a tag to Cassidy. Young Bucks responds by faking Orange Cassidy out before Matthew hits a DDT, but Orange Cassidy evades a disaster on the exposed turnbuckle. Orange Sponge gets blocked, and the Young Bucks are back in control now. The Young Bucks looks for the EVP trigger, but mocks him with his style of kicks first, only for their knees to crash, fight back before hitting a diving DDT for a near fall on Nicholas. Tag made to Trent, but Nicholas hits him with a German suplex before tagging Matthews in. Trent evades the TK driver, and with Orange Cassidy's help, they break it up. Orange Cassidy taunts Nicholas before he takes a ride with a half and half suplex by Trent before they give the people what they want, but only for the Young Bucks to drop him. Matthews goes to the outside to attack Chuck Taylor, but but knows knows better than to go after Sue. Sue slash Matthew as Cassidy drops him, and back in the ring, Trent gets a near fall only to returning Matthews. Nicholas gets involved but gets sent right back out as Sue gives her son Trent a smooch of encouragement, but Trent gets caught with a catapult into the exposed turnbuckle, followed by a roll up to as the Young Bucks gets the pin and the win. The winner of the match and advancing to the final, the Young Bucks. This was a very fun tag team match. But the outcome here goes the outcome. The Young Bucks regroup on the ramp, escaping to the back as we focus on the best friends in the ring. Orange Cassidy helps Trent to his feet as they look to give the people what they want once more, only for Trent to blindside Orange Cassidy with a running knee. Chuck Taylor doesn't know what to make of this as Trent stares Orange Cassidy down before leaving the ring, blowing right by Chuck Taylor and even his own mother in the process before we go to commercial break. I did not expect Beretta to turn on Trent to turn on Orange Cassidy. I wasn't expecting that, but that was a very good fun tag team match. Very good fun tag team match. That's a good good match there between the Young Bucks and Best Friends. Young Bucks with the win, and the post match stuff has me wondering what happened with Best Friends going forward. Hashtag AEW Dynamite. So we go to commercial break. Back at ringside, Maria May heads to the ring for our next contest. Our next is Donna Rosa, and this match is determining a no one contender to the Women's World Champion gets on the way as the bell rings. AEW Women's Title Eliminator Thunder Rosa versus Maria May. In this match right here, this was a squash match, but I'm glad Thunder Rosa won. Squash match. Thunder Rosa gets a upper hand early on, but Mariah May is quickly fighting back as the action spills to the outside, where Thunder Rosa counters a powerbomb into a hurricanrana, sending Mariah May to the floor. Mariah May ends up at the barricade just as Thunder Rosa launches herself at her. Thunder Rosa brings her back to the ring, but only gets a near fall on Mariah May as we go to picture in picture. We're back from picture in picture. Mariah May takes control of the match, wearing down the Thunder Rosa as we come back from break. Morame is still in control, taking Thunder Rosa down for a near fall before fighting to keep her down, only for Thunder Rosa to escape. Mayday. Tija Anna Bomb. Tai Juan Bomb connects, giving Thunder Rosa the pin and the win to become the number one contender. The winner by pinfall and the new number one contender, Thunder Rosa. This was a squash match, but I'm glad Thunder Rosa won this match. Thunder Rosa leaves the ring demanding a title shot at the champ right now, but Tony Storm says nothing as we get confirmation that the match will take place at Dynasty. Good match between Thunder Rosa and Mariah May. Excited to see Thunder Rosa going after the Women's World Championship again at Dynasty. Hashtag AEW Dynamite. That was a squash match to me. Okay, let's move on. Backstage, Penta El Zero Miedo makes his case to challenge Adam Copeland for the TNT Championship next week on Dynamite. At match, that is made official. Back at ringside, Tony Schiavone welcomes us to the contract signing for the AEW World Championship match at Dynasty. Swerve Strickland makes his way to the ring first, followed by the champ Samoa Joe. This was a very good segment to close AEW Dynamite. Tony welcomes both men and offers the contract to the champion to sign first. While the crowd chants, "Whose house?" Swerve's house. Tony Schiavone offers the contract to Swerve, but Samoa Joe tells him to shut up before talking to his number one contender. He offers Swerve Strickland some advice, saying he working off bad information. Swerve rise has been noticed by the champ, and how else can this fairy tale end but with the people celebrating with a new champion? And that is bad information because signing this contract is a bad mistake. It is a career defining mistake for Swerve Strickland to make, further running him down before telling him to do the right thing before he signs the contract. Swerve Strickland wants Mojo to know he's been waiting for this moment his whole life. Swerve Strickland, he's had a road full of roadblocks, but he's feeling of reaching the destination is sweet. He talks about Dynasty and how they building just at the AEW at Dynasty, referring to recent signings. The crowd briefly chant MJF, to which Swerve Strickland just chuckled before saying Samoa Joe is the definition of a killer. But so is Swerve Strickland. At AEW Dynasty, Swerve Strickland will show Samoa Joe he is that man. He tells Samoa Joe to run that fade before hitting him with a punch and trying to choke him out with a chain. Samoa Joe frees hitting Swerve Strickland with a headbutt before laying into the number one contender. He grabs Swerve Strickland's chain and wraps it around his hand, slamming it against Swerve Strickland before officials come out to intervene. Samoa Joe leaves as a bloody Swerve laughs into the microphone, letting the champ know he loves this. And that's all Samoa Joe got. Swerve is taking the title from him. He dipped he dipped the pen in his own blood to sign the contract, but in engage but enraged Samoa Joe rushed back into the ring, attacking Swerve Strickland and sending him through the table with the urine. Samoa Joe stares his contender down, standing tall with the AEW World Title Championship held high as the show comes to a close. What a closing segment between Swerve Strickland and Samoa Joe. Two very dangerous men ready to give it everything they got with the AEW World Championship on the line at Dynasty. What a match this is going to be. Hashtag AEW Dynamite. And AEW overall pretty good, overall a pretty strong edition of AEW Dynamite, delivering well on in ring action and doing its best to move forward, as established by the opening promo from Adam Copeland. Looking forward to what's to come as we get close to Dynasty, and AEW Dynamite goes off the air. All right, like I said earlier just now, let me give my thoughts on AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite tonight. AEW Dynamite was a very pretty good show, and I rate this 8.9 out of 10. If you guys enjoy my AEW Dynamite review and highlights, please give this video a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content. Follow my social media down below in the description, and I will see you guys next on my WWE NXT Stand and Deliver preview prediction video. Because I'm going to give you guys a double upload tonight. So I'll see you guys in my WWE NXT Stand and Delivery preview prediction video. That's coming up next. And I will premiere it on my channel. But anyway, I want you guys to have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang. And I'll see you guys next on my WWE NXT Stand and Delivery preview prediction video. Have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang.